Is another special guest, Traci Brown, who is a body language expert, author of How to Detect Lies, Fraud, and Identity Theft. You can find her at bodylanguagetrainer.com. Traci, thank you so much for being with us. I know you have studied Pastor John Paul Miller's movements, his speech. I was referring earlier to the hiccups, which apparently was a facsimile of crying. And I also noticed that one of his assistants came out and gave him a box of hankies, and he went, "No, I don't need that," because there didn't seem to be any actual tears, just the sounds. But I'm just a layperson. I'm just a trial lawyer. What do you, the body language expert, see?
Well, we didn't see tears. We didn't see eye redness. And the most important thing that we saw is that the emotions, the sadness got shut on and off like a light switch. And that's not how emotions work. Emotions are chemically based. And so they build slowly and they dissipate slowly. Like the chemicals have a half-life. And so this is the first indication of faked sadness here. Now, what's more important is when I profile people, because I listen closely and I want to understand, what does this person want me to know about them the most? And what he's doing throughout this whole eulogy is selling how much he has tried to please her over their life together, and also what a good guy he is. So this is the subtext of this is more of a sales pitch about what a great person he is. Now, if we dive deep into his exact words, what he does throughout this, and here's one of the statements, and this is a quote: "Everyone knew how beautiful she was on the outside. Only a spouse," okay, so he didn't say him, he said a spouse, that's distancing. "Only a spouse knows how beautiful that person is," that person, again, distances, "how beautiful that person is on the inside." So he has statements similar to this throughout the eulogy where he distances himself from her. Another one is, "Imagine being married to that," right? Which is another psychological, emotional distance statement that we see from him. And what's missing, because the other thing that I do when I profile people is I go, okay, what's missing here? What's missing are the typical things that you would hear in a eulogy from a husband, right? Which is how much he misses her, how shocked he is, because what he says is, "It hasn't hit me." He says it hasn't hit me. He says it 2 to 3 times in there. And so he's not revealing any emotional attachment to what happened. Now, he also says that he's not talking about how much he loved her. He doesn't talk about any of those things that would be typical in a speech such as this. So all these things really add up to someone who is not being genuine in their emotion. Now, we don't have a smoking gun with what he said. I'd like to see an interview with him specifically about this, but like a police interview, which I haven't seen. But we have some disturbing behavior here.
Remember, everybody, he sent a legal threat letter stating, "Don't talk about me." Okay, let's listen to the words from the horse's mouth.
"I can't wait to see her again one day. She was so creative. It was just always just coming out of her. Imagine being married to that." It was like that in our house all the time.
Dear Lord in heaven. Okay, that is a seemingly emotional video from Solid Rock Ministries. You know, I've got so many questions for Sierra, but to our body language expert, Traci, here's a few things I noticed having put literally thousands of witnesses on the stand for direct and cross-examination. For instance, the pacing back and forth, the smiling inappropriately during the eulogy, the wiping tears over and over that don't exist, the rubbing of the hands repeatedly throughout, the touching the head, touching the hair. There's nothing to adjust. His hair is like that long. What is he doing? The clapping, and the seemingly endless I don't know what is that.
There's small repetitive movements that that we'll all do when we need to let off stress. So this is a high stress moment for him. Now, we also saw what I thought was really interesting, and what you don't see from a lot of preachers or a lot of people that are used to speaking, is his hand in his pocket. And I looked at it pretty closely, and it might even be in a fist. And that's when we're holding something back. We're holding back information, or we're holding back emotion. If that hand indeed is in a fist, that says anger. So all of these things add up to something that our mind sees, and it goes, wait a minute, something's not right here. Something's not right here. And that's because the emotions are not genuine. And, I'm not going to speculate as to why they're not genuine, right? Body language tells you what's on someone's mind. It doesn't tell you why. You have to put together a list of that. And I think there's plenty of evidence that other folks have for that. But what we're seeing we're seeing disingenuous behavior.